Welcome to Coming Inside Out. I'm your host, Brian James.
And I'm your co-host, John Derler.
Well, hey, John, it's been a great week. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Good.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. John and I both have some really great smiles on our face because we're about to read some of the emails that we've received since our first 3 podcasts have dropped.
I'm blown away. First of all, I'm blown away. And I want to thank you listeners who've listened to us and who have written back, because we had no idea what was going to come of this, and we still don't have any idea.
No.
But thank you, and thank you again for listening to us and writing the emails and giving us your feedback, a little bit of your story. That's what we want to hear. And you know what? That's why we're smiling ear to ear, because we're just happy that people are out there and they're giving us feedback, and that we're actually helping.
We're making a difference.
We're helping each other. That's what we should be here.
We've had like a dozen people that are in the closet reach out to us and tell us, hey, thank you so much for sharing this. They're not coming out, but we are a place for them to go, listen, and, just get support.
So please keep writing us. I mean, seriously, guys, this is really cool.
Yes, it is. Really cool. Okay, you want to read a couple? We have them coming in. I mean, we had a guy from Israel. Reach out to us. Germany reach out to us. A couple people from Canada reach out to us. A guy from Australia reached out to us. But go ahead. You want to read one of your...
The gays are taking over the world.
Yes. Oh, and before we get started, let me just say this. If anybody is listening to us and not watching the videos, you can log on to YouTube, Coming Inside Out, go to our video, and if you want to see what a 6'4", 280-pound California bear looks like, John will be there for you.
I'm a Caltex bear.
You're a
California, Texas.
California, Texas bear. Caltex.
And Brian as well. Handsome Brian. There you are. Loving it.
Oh.
So should we share some of this?
Yes, let's read a couple of
guys, let's jump into this. I want to jump into an email we received. And it says, hey guys, love the first 2 episodes, hearing your stories. So much to relate to, and I know I'm not alone. Married 32 years, I'm 57, not out to anyone except for my close gay friend. Started acknowledging my sexuality at 50 and started a journey towards self-acceptance. Like Big John, we sleep in separate beds, and I have a FB, which I think is Friends with Benefits. The story about how Big John came out to his wife and her subsequent invasion of his privacy by getting into his email must have been traumatic. It was, and thank you. As you guys discuss, the notion that you can be a gay man and married and not get caught is something that troubles me deeply, knowing that this is the most likely outcome for me eventually. I know.
Yes.
Also, how the universe pulls you towards this is fascinating. I know the only way to preempt this is to come out before it happens, but that's the dilemma we all face as late bloomers. I'm loving the Gay Father, GFW.
Oh, Gay Fathers Worldwide. Yes.
Okay, that acronym, yes. He's loving Gay Fathers Worldwide community online, and it's the first time I have come across such an accepting and relevant group. That's nice to hear.
Absolutely.
He's from Australia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, very nice.
I mean, I'm glad. Thank you, first of all, for writing in, Julian. And
are we supposed to say people? Didn't we say we were going to keep this anonymous?
Oh, I wasn't going to say last name. Did I say no? Did I say?
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll straight. But I love that you shared this, because I mean, we're all going through it. We've all been through it, and we're going through it, and it's it's going to be on your timetable. It's going to be on your timetable, because I didn't have a podcast to listen to. I didn't have anything when I was, when I got caught. Just like if you don't know the story, we had not been sleeping together for a long time, and we got in a big argument, and she just kind of was making a joke to me. And she goes, "What are you, gay?" And that is when I had the chance to be. That's when I had the chance to be truthful and say. She goes, "What are you, gay?" And I said, "I don't know." Or, wait, what did I say? "I don't know." That's what I said. I said, I don't know. And that triggered her, flipped her out. So that was, my time. So um, I'm glad Australia that you are listening, and we're here for you.
Yeah.
Brian, you have another email.
I do, but I just want, along that same line, we had several people reach out to us in very similar situations, kind of telling the same story. We're not reading all of them, but we had a couple different guys reach out and all say they related to Big John and they could,
Right. Yeah.
So that's a hot topic.
It is a hot topic. Well, that's why we're here.
Absolutely. So we had someone write in and say, you and John have a wonderful banter, and I want this to be so successful to you. This guy also did the walk of power back to his school. I shared in a couple episodes ago that I got out of my car as a grown man and the walk to school that I used to get bullied on every morning. I walked that as an empowered man. So this gentleman sent us a picture of him at his high school after he did his walk of empowerment. Also,
look at the smile on his face.
That's great.
That's awesome. That is really really nice. That's good. Let's see. I think
then we have one from a woman that.
Yes.
And we're going to leave her name out of this.
I'll leave her name. All right. We'll call her Mary.
No, we'll call her Karen.
Karen.
No,
that's not joking.
No.
And thank you, because listen, thank you, woman, for writing into us.
And I wrote her a nice response too.
You did. All right, this is what woman said. Hopefully there will come a point in the future where more and more gay boys and men don't fear coming out of the closet and can learn to embrace their sexuality early in life with a more accepting society. That's nice. It always saddens me, not just for the gay men involved in these shame relationships, but also the women who are usually unaware their partner is gay. It takes away their chance at finding someone they are truly compatible with, and it ends up affecting both people, which is pretty unfair. It must be a pretty traumatic experience to be married to someone, sometimes for decades, and then to find out it was all built around a lie because they were hiding their true sexual orientation. That is, and it's like living the lie. That's what I think gay men have done for a long time, is live that lie or deny it for so long. And I there's a little bit of me saying, I take offense to calling me a liar, but I did. I lied.
You weren't living your authentic self,
right?
But were you in love with your wife? Did you love your wife? Did you love being a family man? So it wasn't completely. It wasn't a lie.
Right.
But I did write her back. When I was researching doing this podcast, I did come across a woman that does a podcast, and it's all about women supporting women whose husbands have come out as gay. So I told her about the YouTube page and where she could go to get support and watch that. But I agree. It's difficult on both parties.
It is.
Yeah.
It absolutely is.
So this is Pride Week. It's not Pride Week, it's Pride Month, but Pride just started. This is the first time that I'm really actively looking at Pride, going to Pride. I'm wearing the shirt that got me in trouble, by the way, on YouTube. My Woke Up Gay Again shirt. I talked about it in a prior episode, so I thought I would wear it. But, I printed this. I saw this online. I printed this. I'm going to read it. When I naively have thought of Pride, I have thought of Pride as a celebration because now I'm out as gay.
Right.
And I'm going to celebrate being gay.
Yeah.
And someone posted, pride is important because someone tonight still believes they're better off dead than being gay. So pride is about supporting also this whole closeted community of men, these men that think that, they're better off dead than living their true authentic selves.
Wow.
And when I read this, I thought, Brian, in 2018, I had worked a corporate job for 26 years. Married, corporate job, living with my wife. And although I loved my life, I had that nagging voice in the back of my head every day when I woke up, you're gay, you're gay, you're gay, you're gay, you're gay.
Yeah.
And all of these people, a bunch of the emails and text messages that we've received are from these men that are afraid to come out, or they haven't come out, or they don't know how to come out. And I just want to put this in a little perspective, because 2018, married, corporate job, unhappy.
Right.
2024, I am a out gay man doing a podcast. I never thought this would be my existence. I thought I was so miserable after coming out because I made a huge mistake. I should have never done this. I need to get back in the closet. I was depressed. I was
Well, and you were depressed, but you shared with me that there's some scary stuff there, Brian. That if you want to share with everyone, now's the time. But if you don't want to, but you shared with me some really deep, dark stuff, and I'm so glad you're doing this. I'm so glad you're doing this, because we don't want you dead.
Yeah.
We don't want listeners. We don't want you dead.
Yeah.
We don't want that. There's so much. There's so much in life. You may be having your children, and today I went and I took my 12-year-old down to the basketball tournament. And it was a 50-minute drive. And first I bitched about driving that far. But then, you just stop and you collect, and you just think about, like, I am so humbled, and I'm so appreciative that I can take him down there, that I can pay for that I can spend time with him, because my dad didn't spend time with me ever. He left when I was 4. And my mother raised 4 kids, and he was in and out. He was just, an unfortunate loser. He really was. Do you know, when I was in 6th grade, I saved up $800.
What?
Yep. I worked on a ranch, a rice farm, and I got paid, and I saved up, $800.
How old were you?
I think I was 12.
All right. I thought maybe you were selling tickets to circle jerks.
No, we hadn't started the circle jerk yet. But this was my 6th grade summer. And my dad was in and out of town, and he came back and he goes, oh, I'm broke and I'm trying to go to California. This is from Texas. And my brother knew that I had this money. And my dad says, hey, son, do you think you could loan me the $800? And I'll give you $1,200 when I get to California, and I'll pay you back in a week. I never saw that fucking.
Oh my!
I gave him $800, and I think. And listen, I think, and that's why I was saying, don't go off the deep end. Your children need you. I needed a father. And he wasn't there. I was the father. I was the motherfucker in 6th grade loaning my dad money. What the fuck?
Yes.
But it's taught me to be a better person. But it also, I just think, the guidance that gay men need from a father. Because you know what? Your first male relationship is with your dad. Your first male relationship.
That's true.
I would think that.
I didn't really have, my dad was present in my life, but as far as a relationship with him, I didn't have a relationship with my dad.
And I guess I'm taking you around the big track here to try to make my point. And is that gay men, we're awesome people because we care. we know how to love, we know how to be affectionate, I think. And I think that I am so lucky because I'm able to pass that to my boys.
Yes.
And pass that, love to them and affection. Yeah. So
I think I overcompensate. I think what I didn't get growing up from my father, I overcompensate with my children. So I think
is that a bad thing?
I think it is a bad thing.
Okay, give me an example of overcompensating.
I'm a yes man to my kids.
So?
No, I think there needs to be better boundaries.
You're not yes to everything.
Not everything, but a lot. A lot. So this is kind of interesting because I kind of relate it to when I was married. When I was married, I felt so guilty because I had this secret that I was a yes man to my wife at the time. If she wanted to go somewhere, if she wanted to do something, if there was something she wanted, because I had this guilt inside of me, I was always like, yes, of course. Oh, you want to buy that? Of course. You want to go here? Of course, of course. I just said yes to her in overcompensating. I think that spilled over with my children. So, I'm a good dad. I'm a loving dad, but
listen, you're a great dad. You're a loving dad, and you're there, and that's
present.
You're present, and I think
and I'm learning to be a better person.
Of course you are, but this was the whole thing too. Was when when she basically went to my files and saw all my emails and everything. And I'm raising these children. The children were around, 4 and 6 or 3 and 5 at the time. It's like, oh my God, I didn't tell them at the time. We said that daddy's moving out. We're going to have another house. And that was, that's a transition too. If you're in that space already and you've come out to your wife, we have a beautiful, beautiful way to tell our children, because again, when I was growing up, my fucking dad packed his bag and he goes, I'm fucking out of here. That's when I was helping to pack his fucking bag
and giving him $800 at the same time.
So I didn't want that to happen. So I ended up getting a townhouse, and my wife at the time helped me furnish it. She was so supportive. She was distraught, don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But we wanted to make sure that the children had a stability and we were able to co-parent together and be strong for the children as well.
Yes.
And
yes, that's the most important. And you took it upon yourselves to have children. So now that you're going through divorce because of whatever the reasoning is, your number one priority is the children that didn't ask for any of this.
Right, that they didn't ask for it. And, since then I've come out to my children. I waited till they were a little bit older when they understood it, but it was not even an issue. It wasn't an issue. And I know some of you listening are thinking, oh my God, what's the biggest fear? What's your biggest fear? And how somebody's going to react to you when you tell them that you're gay. And excuse me, no one has been mean to me or have said, look, I have nothing to do with you anymore, which I thought a lot of people would.
Yeah.
And they have not. And I'm a perfect example of that, because I thought all the negative.
Me too.
Right?
Well, and some of the people that wrote in, their children have disowned them, stopped talking to them, their spouses, their family, they've been kicked out of their churches. So, there is a lot of people that unfortunately have it a lot worse than you and I did.
Right.
In our coming out process. And I think for one of these future episodes, it'd be good to have one of those people on here. I know someone wrote in and asked if we were going to have someone on our show to talk about religion.
That's right.
And how that plays a part. I'm spiritual. I'm not religious, so I really didn't have any religious hurdles during my coming out process.
I was raised Catholic, and then my freshman year, my girlfriend at the time, she witnessed to me, and I became a Baptist.
Baptist.
Oh, yeah. Singing in the church choir. Oh, how gay was that?
For the record, here's a couple things. Our biggest responses on this were, other men that wrote in, they didn't have circle jerks at their high schools either.
They did? They did?
No.
Well, then they were missing out.
I've heard that from several people who wrote in, so they didn't have circle jerks. Really? Yeah, they did. No, they did.
These were all straight guys. And me. Seriously?
Then they wrote in and said we misnumbered our episodes.
Yeah.
We called it trailer number 1. Yeah. We called episode number 1, number 2, so we have that all straightened out.
And Brian, I have to just thank you in front of everybody. You've been so great of spearheading this whole thing, and I really want to thank you.
Well, thank you.
No, seriously.
I'm loving it.
You have, you wanted to do this, and you didn't know anything about it.
Nothing.
Goodness, thank you.
No, thank you.
It's awesome.
We are on, I don't know if you're watching us or listening to us, but we're now on Spotify. We're on Apple.
Yep.
We're on iHeartRadio. We're on YouTube. We're on Amazon. We're on a couple other ones, but they were, I didn't really know what they were. Deezer was one of them.
Deezer?
Deezer.
Oh, Geezer. Are we that old? Geezer?
No, we're not old enough to be on Deezer.
Geezer.
Yeah. Well, so that was so. I will share with you. I'll take a couple minutes to share with you because I did share this with John probably back in maybe February of this year. The end of 2022 was the worst time in my life for me.
Right.
As far as depression, isolation, everything going on. And it just got worse and worse and worse. I was in counseling. I was in therapy. I did try antidepressant medications, and they didn't work for me. And in February of 2023, I did create an exit strategy for myself.
Oh, my God.
And I was in therapy at the time, and I told my therapist, this is not working. I'm everything you tell me to do, I do it. You tell me to jump, I jump. You tell me to do this, I did everything I could. Nothing was working. And one of the last episodes I had with, or last episodes, one of the last sessions I had with her, she said to me, Brian, before you leave here today, I have one request of you. And I'm like, what is it? And this is not a paid sponsorship, by the way, or plug. She recommended a book to me.
Yeah.
And I bought that book.
Yeah.
I was going to Big Bear with my entire family. It was my parents' 80th birthdays, and they rented a big house in Big Bear, and my whole family was going to go, or went. My ex went for the first 3 nights, and I went for the last 3 nights.
Right.
And I said to myself, this was now in March of 2023, I had just gotten the book, and I said, I'm going to go to Big Bear and secretly say goodbye to everybody.
Wow.
I'm going to spend 3 days with my kids. I'm going to, have conversations with my parents and my siblings.
Yeah.
Because the whole family was there. And I was going to come home and I was going to kill myself because I couldn't take it anymore.
What can I start? What couldn't you take anymore?
I couldn't take the screaming silence, if that makes any sense.
It does.
No,
it does make sense.
But
the screaming silence.
It was so silent, and I was just screaming on the inside for anything. I was lonely. I was depressed. I wasn't functioning. I wasn't high functioning. I have my kids for 4 nights. So for 4 nights, I'm on. I'm like a little, I'm like a little show. And then my kids leave, and then I'm just like under the covers in bed, isolating myself. My kids come over, I jump up, the whole thing. And I just was isolating myself. I was just so, I was in such despair.
And you were going to kill yourself.
I was.
You were going to come back from Big Bear.
I was going to come back from Big Bear after saying goodbye to everybody, and that was going to be it for me. I was going to kill myself. The craziest thing, how the universe works, the craziest thing. My ex was up there for 3 nights with my boys.
Yeah.
She and I crossed paths coming and going from Big Bear. I was watching her 2 cats for 3 nights, and then she was going to watch my dog for 3 nights. I got to Big Bear, walk in the door, say hi to everybody. Where are my kids? I'll leave their names out of it. And my mom said, "Oh, your younger son's in the room watching a movie." And I said, "Oh, where's my older son?" And she said, "Oh, he went home with his mom." And I said, "What?"
Oh.
And she said, "Oh, yeah, he wasn't feeling well, and he went home with his mom." Nobody called me. Nobody texted me. Nothing.
And
I drove up there.
This whole plan.
I got up there and I was like, holy shit, my son's not here. I was going to spend like these 3 days, like having just this amazing connection with my 2 kids while we were up there. And one of them wasn't there. And I thought, what the hell? Now what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I picked up that book. I brought it with me. I was reading that book. And that
What's the name of the book?
It's called Project 369. And it's
you told me about
it. There's 3 books. I had the one, Evolved Consciousness was the first one that I read.
Yeah.
And there's 2 other ones, and I subsequently bought the 2 other books and have been working those. But that was a lifesaver for me.
You know, I want to know what brought you to that place. What brought you to that place? Because I don't want you to be brought to that place again, my friend. I really don't. And you've already had come out.
I came out 2020.
Yes, you've already come out. So it's not just people that have not come out. It's even after you come out. You're a perfect example of just being human and being broken after you've come out.
With a shit ton of therapy, I did private coaching. I done men's groups, meditation groups, breath circles. I mean, I've threw myself into anything and everything to help better myself.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I would come home alone.
Alone.
Absolutely.
Did you tell anyone that you were going to do this? Did you tell your therapist? Did you call?
Yes. I did. So I started to look at stuff on my laptop, but when you start to look up things about suicide on your laptop, it automatically refers you to a mental health number. This is something I will tell you guys. And if anybody picks a sign up from somebody else, I started normalizing committing suicide in conversations I was having with my friends. Telling my friends, "Oh my God, I don't know, I can't do this anymore. Oh my God, this is, and I would talk like I was so tired and I was just so done. I told one of my friends, I'm like, if everything in this world happens for a reason, if someone kills themselves, didn't that happen for a reason also? Mm-hmm. So if I killed myself, wasn't that supposed to happen? Because everything happens for a reason. So if I died at 54, wasn't that supposed to happen? Wasn't that how my life was supposed to end? So I really was normalizing it in my conversations. Yeah. And so when I decided to do it, it wasn't this big scary thing that I had thought it to be in 2022.
Wow.
And I'm not alone.
No, you're not. I don't know what to say. I mean, thank God you didn't.
Thank God my son went home with his mother.
Yeah. And then you read the book.
I did the book 5 times. So here's a little side note on this book. My therapist recommended it to me. I opened it up and I just started reading from page 1.
Right.
I don't know, you get 150 pages into the book and all of a sudden you flip the page and it's a workbook. And I was like, oh, motherfucker. If somebody told me it was a workbook, I would have never bought it. I would have bought it. I would like write shit down, journal, put stuff in the open for other people to read and see and whatever. I was like, no, I'm done. But I was so distraught.
How are you now?
I am very lonely.
Yeah.
I'm lonely. My wife and I were together for 30 years.
Yeah.
And our bodies, even when we're not talking, our bodies are vibrating off of each other.
Right.
So my body is vibrating off of your body's energy. Your body's vibrating off of my body's energy.
Well, I have a vibrator in my pocket. So that's like I do have a vibrator in my pocket.
Is that what's going on?
Yeah, that's what you're feeling.
That's so funny. So I think this is just my own Brian theory.
Yeah.
that my body, after communicating with my wife in bed while we're awake, fighting, whatever, our body's communicating silently.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, one day I move out and boom, that is just severed. And my body was like a whale. It was like a whale crying out into the ocean and it bouncing off of another whale and something coming back to you. And my body was just crying out and there was nothing coming back. And I think that's why when people get older, like in their 80s, after they've lived with their spouse for 60 years and their spouse dies, their body is trying to communicate and there's nothing communicating back to them. So it wasn't just that I was lonely in my head. My body, my soul was so lonely.
Well, we gotta get you a boyfriend. We gotta get you a boyfriend. Let's get you a boyfriend. I mean,
we'll see about that.
I need a boyfriend too.
I need a healthy boyfriend. My world is not going to become smaller when I introduce somebody into my life. My world is going to expand from bringing another
their
person.
Life is going to expand.
Yes, and mine as well.
Bring it to it.
Well, listen.
That thank you for sharing that, buddy. I mean, I know a lot of people can appreciate what you just said, and I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Thank goodness you didn't follow through, because you're here for a purpose. You are here.
I think so.
For a purpose.
I think so.
And I'm just glad to be along for the ride. All right.
Thank you.
Let's end it here.
All right. Let's end it here. Listen, if you would like to email us comments, questions, concerns, cominginsideout@gmail.com.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you guys, and thank you all for the support that you have already been giving us. This is what feeds us.
Yes.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Well, guys, take care of yourselves and your families, and we're going to see you soon.
Yes.
Hopefully.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.